people in this world that did not tune in to the Alliance Vlog podcast. Shame on you!
Shame on you. My name is Ella Indy, and I'm one half of the NWA Women's World Tag Team Champion.
And I'm Kinsey Page, the other half of the NWA World Women's Tag Team Champion.
And you better go listen to the Alliance Vlog, what is it called again?
Podcast, period.
Or you're ugly.
Pretty
ugly. Power approved. Alright.
Are you ready?
Power.
You want answers? I think I'm entitled. You want answers? I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
I'm building an alliance.
God bless the internet.
Okay, let's party. It's showtime.
It's time for the Alliance Guys podcast, with your hosts Kevin Frazier, Jaden, DKM, and J. Cal.
What is up, everyone? Welcome to the Alliance Guys podcast, a presentation of alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the National Wrestling Alliance. My name is J. Cal, and typically we're sitting here in the illustrious Alliance Guys podcast studios, and you normally will see me on video with Jaden and DKM. However, today is November the 24th, and here in the United States, we celebrate Thanksgiving on that day, a day for gluttony and turkey and mashed potatoes and gravy. I'm getting hungry just thinking about it. It's a day we also celebrate our gratitude. And that's kind of why I'm recording this right now, because first and foremost, man, I want to thank each and every single one of you that listen to this podcast every week. We talk NWA so much, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And, I don't know if I can adequately explain how grateful I am for listeners like you, viewers like you, who support the product. You'll go out there and buy a tub of a Debbie energy drink, or you'll buy a t-shirt or a ball cap or something of those likes, or hell, you just share us. You just share the podcast on Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. I'm so grateful for you guys. And we have such a great audience. You guys will join us live on Tuesdays or Wednesdays and Thursdays, whenever we're recording, whether it be the pre-party, the other Alliance Guys, or the original, the Alliance Guys podcast. I'm just so very grateful for all of you. And so I wanted to make sure that I didn't leave you guys hanging on a Thursday, because, we're here each and every Thursday talking about the NWA. So I wanted to talk a little bit about the NWA. And in the second half of the show, I really go in on Tyrus as world champion and people's opinions of the NWA. But I got to tell you, man, it's just been a few hours since it was announced, but things are starting to look up for the NWA, and I don't think that we have seen this kind of momentum for the NWA in a while. Now, first and foremost, let's talk about our girl Kamille, right? She is your NWA Women's World Champion, coming off of a successful victory in New Orleans. I mean, not only at Hard Times 3 did she go through Chelsea Green and Kylan King. She's beat both of those women separately. Why wouldn't she beat them together? But she also took on Wildcat Sports' Jasmine Allure and defeated her very unceremoniously. I mean, it's beginning to be a prophecy come to life. The one-time champion Kamille continues to move effortlessly through the women's roster of the National Wrestling Alliance, chalking up victories everywhere she goes. She's had victories all over the world now. Okay, maybe I overstated over the world, but certainly all over the United States. She's defended the Burke in places like River City Wrestling or Coastal Championship Wrestling. She's defended the title in the ECW arena. She's defended the title in Florida. She's defended the title, like I said, in Tennessee, Texas. She represented the National Wrestling Alliance in Mexico when she challenged Taya Valkyrie for the La Reinas de Reinas Championship. She represented the NWA in California when she also fought against Taya Valkyrie at XPW. Yeah, that XPW. And, it doesn't look like she's slowing down anytime soon, because we know that it's literally just a couple of weeks away now. December 3rd. Actually, not even, it's about a week away. December 3rd. It's already here. Reka Tahaka challenges Kamille for the NWA Women's World Championship, the Burke, at the 4th anniversary of the Devotion Championship Wrestling. They're based out of Utah. This is a huge opportunity for Kamille. On this card, you're going to see the likes of Sin Bodhi. Am I saying that right? I believe Dirty Dango is going to be on the card. Glacier. You remember Glacier, right? Mortal Kombat knockoff from WCW in the late 90s. But you're also going to have the Impact World Champion in Jake Alexander. Eric Bischoff's going to be in the house. I don't know what that's actually going to do. Diamond Dallas Page will also be in the house. Again, I'm not really sure what any of that's going to lead to, but you will be able to watch this match on Fight TV. It's part of the regular service. Devotion Championship Wrestling, I believe, is free to all to check out. And Reka Tahaka, if you guys aren't aware of her, she is a beast. And I mean that with the utmost respect. I've seen her in Championship Wrestling from Atlanta. I've seen her in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. She had a nice little feud with Heather Monroe in Atlanta. And, she came into California and dominated the women's division. We don't have a world's women's champion in the United Wrestling Network. There's not a actual women's champion in Championship Wrestling. But if there was one, Reka Tahaka certainly would be able to put her name on that list of worthy contenders. This will be a test for Kamille, and I really encourage all of the NWA fans to get on this Devotion Championship Wrestling, the 4th anniversary show. The live taping will take place, like I said, December 3rd. The show will probably air a couple of weeks after that, but we'll see. But that's a huge, huge title defense for Kamille. She doesn't really get out to the West Coast very much. And although Utah isn't exactly on the coast, it is considered, I believe, the West Coast. So good on her. Another successful, I'm jumping the gun there. Another opportunity for her to showcase why she is the one-time women's champion. Another opportunity for her to showcase what the Burke is all about and how important that title is in the NWA and all of pro wrestling. But that's not it, because Kamille a week later, 2 weeks later, heads to the United Kingdom. Her and her husband, Tom Latimer, will both be in the United Kingdom. Tom makes his return after 4 years. He'll be re-debuting for the Ultimate Pro Wrestling Winter Warfare, not to be confused with the UPW in Southern California that birthed Samoa Joe and the prototype John Cena and Frankie Kazarian, Christopher Daniels, and TJ Perkins. And these are a lot of guys that hold on, J Cal, you're getting ahead of yourself. Let's get back to Ultimate Pro Wrestling Winter Warfare. Again, takes place Saturday, December 17th in the United Kingdom, where she'll be taking on L.A. Taylor, who is the BLW Women's Champion. Now, I don't know much about L.A. Taylor. I don't know much about the BLW Women's Champion, but I do know this. This will be the first time that the Burke has been defended on foreign soil. It'll be the first time that the title that was held by, Serena Deeb, that was held by Thunder Rosa, that was held by Allison Kay, almost called her Sienna, will be the first time that title's been defended outside of the United States. This is a big deal. It's a very big deal. And Kamille is making her claim. Maybe this should be called the Kamille Crusade. Maybe we should start looking at her as the true national treasure of the National Wrestling Alliance, because Kamille is taking the Burke on the road. My friends, she's taking the title to the United Kingdom, and I don't want to overstate how important that is. Now, sure, pump the brakes, J. Cal. I get it. She's going to the United Kingdom with her husband. I'm sure they're visiting family. This is maybe a working vacation for them. But nevertheless, you can't take away the fact that the Burke has not been defended in the United Kingdom until now. Now, we celebrated the Hex for doing the same thing, taking the women's tag team titles across the border. But this will be the first time for the Women's World Championship. So I'm very excited about that. And again, for Kamille, who seemingly is the standard bearer of what an NWA champion should be, at least in my opinion, I think this is great news. Speaking of great news, we gotta get back to the NWA. We gotta talk about what's happening there. I mean, look, your boy Jay is gonna say what he likes and what he doesn't like. Your boy Jay is gonna tell you when he was wrong and when he was right. And a lot of people have been talking about Tyrus as world champion and how the momentum for the NWA is stopped, and I still believe that's just a bunch of crap. And on the next segment of this episode, I'm going to be talking about specifically Tyrus. It's the excerpt from the pre-party. If you watched the pre-party this week, you kind of already heard it. If you missed it, it's a great chance for you to listen to it. But basically, on March 4th, 2023, the world is a vampire and it is sent to drain because the NWA will be battling AAA in Mexico. It's going to happen, guys. It's going to happen in the middle of a music festival. And this is crazy to me because as a fan of pro wrestling, as a fan of Lucha Libre, I have been down to Mexico. I mean, I say that right, like it's some big deal. I've been down to Tijuana. You can cross the border. You got your passport. It's very easy. I've walked into Tijuana, Mexico, 2 times in the last year to check out some Lucha Libre from the Crash, and I spoke to Mecha Wolf, who I'm almost positive had something to do with this. But, I said to him, like, oh, man, why couldn't you guys have gone to the Auditorium de Tijuana? I could have made that show. And he replied with, man, I tried to get them to book there originally, but this is going to be better. And I agree with them because there's going to be thousands of people there to see the Smashing Pumpkins. There's going to be thousands of people there to see Interpol. Like, I'll be honest, most of these bands I've never heard of. I don't know who Turnstile is or Peter Hook and the Light or Death Heaven. And I'm sure a lot of these bands, like, I'm sure they're great. I don't know about them at all. And I don't care. I'm not about the music. I'm about the pro wrestling. Tickets go on sale on my birthday, guys. November 28th, this Monday. So if you are somebody who listens to this podcast who lives in Mexico or travels to Mexico frequently, you want to jump in on this. According to Mecha Wolf, it's going to be a huge festival, and basically in the middle of the festival, everything's going to stop, and we're going to get an NWA versus AAA show. What does that card look like? Who knows, man? But I mean, there's so much potential. Willie Mack has been wrestling for AAA as of late. Willie Mack, your first Lightning One era NWA national champion. How badass would it be for him to challenge Scion for the title that he lost back at Crockett Cup 2019? That would be very interesting. Talking about Mecha Wolf, maybe him and his partner Bestia 666 takes on PJ and Luke Hawk for those NWA World Tag Team titles. We've already seen Taya Valkyrie and Kamille step into that ring for both the Women's World Championship and the Reina de Reinas Championship, but maybe they could have a final match where both titles are on the line. And this is just speculation. I have no idea what the matches are going to look like, but don't tell me that the NWA's momentum is gone. March 4th is literally just around the corner. This is this is a great move for the NWA. It's a great move for AAA. And I don't know who, like I said, I don't know who's going to be there. I don't know if we'll get a world title defense from Tyrus. I don't know if we'll get, I don't know if we'll have the Idolmania Sports Management in attendance. I don't know if Trevor Murdoch or Matt Cardona will be there. But if I'm the NWA, man, I'm bringing everyone. I'm bringing the blunt force trauma. I'm bringing JTG and the Pope. I'm bringing Scion. I'm bringing Dak Draper. I'm bringing Jordan Clearwater. I'm bringing Black G's. I'm bringing, better damn bet you, I'm bringing Tom Latimer and EC3, although I don't want to see them in a match. This is big. This is huge. And this is an opportunity for, again, the NWA to gain some momentum. And just the visuals, just the thought of seeing the NWA titles challenged by international talents in Mexico. You know, the last time the NWA World's Heavyweight Championship was defended in Mexico was Blue Demon Jr. When Mecha Wolf and Bestia 666 defended the NWA tag team titles in AAA, that was in Texas, not in Mexico. You know, Adam Pearce defended the 10 pounds of gold in Mexico. I believe Jeff Jarrett did too. You know, Blue Demon obviously defended it quite a bit in Mexico. So it would be very exciting, to say the least, to see Tyrus defend the 10 pounds of gold in Mexico. You know, I don't know who they're going to put him in the ring with. Maybe it's a Trevor Murdoch matchup. Maybe it's a Matt Cardona matchup. Maybe it has no AAA influence at all. It'd be cool just to see the title being represented in that country. And so, I mean, the momentum for the NWA is there. And this is in March. We still have the live Power episode that I believe is going to be in Knoxville. Maybe it's Nashville. I'm not sure. More information will be released with that soon. Of course, there's supposed to be more TV tapings in December. So there's a lot of momentum going into 2023. Don't let the boogeyman on the internet tell you that the NWA is dead. Nick Aldis was a great champion, but Nick Aldis was not the NWA. If you don't like the NWA, brother, I hear you, man. I'm not sure I like the NWA. I'm not sure this is the company that I want to keep following, but I will sit here and tell you that it's not dead. Damn, it ain't going nowhere. Except for maybe to the top. Well, maybe not to the top, but certainly gaining momentum, moving in the right direction. You can't argue with that. Guys, this is the Alliance Guys podcast. We're here every Thursday, except for holidays, and we'll be back next week. I do appreciate you listening this week. Enjoy your turkey, and when I come back from break, you're going to hear me talk about Tyrus and the NWA.
Hello, friends. If you're enjoying the podcast that you're listening to currently, please consider visiting alliance-wrestling.com, your number one source for news and information for the United Wrestling Network and the National Wrestling Alliance. Thank you.
All is well in the house of the Alliance. We are talking NWA. And, yeah, Lamb might be a J-Cal guy, but I'm a Lamb Some guy. Yeah, Mutual Admiration Society. Lamb is the best. If you guys don't know who Lamb is, he's also responsible on Twitter and Instagram for Championship Wrestling from Hollywood News, which is basically United Wrestling Network. He's covering Memphis. He covers Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. He also covers SoCal Indies at the Alliance-Wrestling.com. Check that out. What else can I plug? What an interesting 7 days. Last week, Tim was here talking about the events that had unfurled at the NWA pay-per-view Hard Times 3. And I have to point this out. Fiona says in Sal's face. And when you look at that video every single time, you just... I filmed this, and I was so happy to film this because, well, I'm a big Ella Envy fan, and I'm a big Kenzie Page fan. But Sal's face through the whole thing just kills me. I didn't see it when I recorded it, so it made me laugh very hard afterwards when I saw it. But yeah, those are my girls. They are your NWA Women Tag Team Champions, and they're my buddies. They're my besties. Did you see that they're wearing the Alliance blog hat? You can get that hat on their merch shop. I don't want to make this whole thing commercials, but it is getting that time of the year again where a little extra bucks doesn't hurt anybody. Did I mention how much I love my Debbie drink? It is so good. Merch link in bio. So let's see. Medium 5 says I'm some dumb guy. Yeah, I get it, Media. I get it. Terry McDermott says school is out and the election is over, so I have some free time. Well, Terry, I'm glad you're here, buddy. I am glad you're here. I know that you're excited because Jordan Clearwater is your new NWA television champion. And now there's not a whole lot of television champions that we could count on in the NWA. I mean, of course, Ricky Starks won the tournament at the first Hard Times, and then Zicky Dice. And from Zicky Dice, it went to the Pope. And from the Pope, it went to Tyrus Smash. And he relinquished it to become the world's heavyweight champion. So Jordan Clearwater is on a very list of few people. And speaking about Jordan Clearwater, and I want other people to know this too. Jordan Clearwater is a guy who has been killing it everywhere he goes. Jordan Clearwater has been out there smashing it in the United Wrestling Network as the world champion. He's a former Heritage champion, and he's been holding on to that belt in Hollywood with the Embassy, which is Prince Nana, Invictus Cash, and there's another guy whose name I can't remember yet. Then of course in the NWA, he's had some ups and downs. Of course, when he stepped into the ring with Nick Aldis, a lot of people were perhaps connecting him to a much brighter future than what he currently was dealing with. Of course, as he's progressed, he's joined the family of Idolmania Sports Management. As part of that group, he has had very successful runs in the tag team division with teaming with Marche Rocket, but none more important than his run now at the television championship. Already had his first defense against Mims last week. The sky's the limit for the kid. And that's something else I want to talk about too when we talk about this new NWA. Like, I still hear people saying that the sky is falling, right? People are still telling me that Billy Corgan's destroying the NWA, and I have to say, gentlemen, ladies, pump the brakes. Pump those brakes. Because the NWA hasn't stopped running shows. The NWA has started mapping out their future. Now, there's a 20-year plan. I can tell you that I don't believe Billy Corgan envisioned a 20-year plan that didn't include Nick Aldis. And I would be shocked if the 20-year plan included putting the World's Heavyweight Championship on Tyrus. But you ebb and flow, my friends. You must move with the trends. Now, I get it. Tyrus isn't for everybody. Hell, he isn't for me. But is he not out there talking about the NWA? He does a podcast, The Three Wise Men, that's played on Fox News podcasting. Now, I know it's a different genre, and we don't know the crossover appeal from Fox News to pro wrestling, but it's one of the higher rated podcasts on their network. Okay. They're also bringing that title out on Gutfeld and Friends. I think that's what it's called. I should really learn the name of it because I talk about it quite frequently. So having Tyrus come out there with the 10 pounds of gold again, that's not my cup of tea. He's not the guy that I want in that position. However, it's not my choice, nor is it your choice. It's Billy's choice. And the premium of that choice is going to be two things, right? Either it's going to work or it's not. Either the fans are going to flock to the NWA and all that sweet Fox News money is going to come pouring into the National Wrestling Alliance, or it won't. And then you have a near 50-year-old, 350-pound hybrid gorilla in the ring. I mean, let's be honest. That dude is huge. Tyrus is powerful. Tyrus is big. And when you put that in the ring, maybe he isn't going to do a Huracan Rana. Hey, maybe if you're expecting him to do a flying head scissors, it's not going to happen. He's not going to be a spot monkey. He's not going to jump from the top rope. But he's going in there and smash things. And that's what his name is. Tyrus Smash. He's going to go in and smash things. If you're expecting a 5-star matchup with Tyrus, you'll be mistaken. But if you go in there expecting what Tyrus is, a guy that's going to go in there, punch, kick, tongue and death grip, maybe a choke slam, maybe a power slam, that's what you're going to get. And there's ways to make that work. Wasn't like Hulk Hogan had a whole list of great moves that carried the WWF in the early 80s. And really what needs to happen is they need to maximize these eyeballs that are now peering down to the NWA. These eyeballs that are coming free because of the publicity, because of the controversy. And I don't care about Tyrus's politics. I don't care about your politics. This is pro wrestling. I don't need to be on the same page as you politically for us to all to enjoy the same product that's in the ring. 20 years ago, none of us knew these politics of these guys. You didn't know who was red or blue or purple or whatever. All it was wrestling. And that's what the NWA is hoping to do, is just get the wrestling fans. Now, a lot of people are upset. A lot of people have canceled their memberships. Okay. That's entirely your right. In a country that we talk about capitalism, like that's the ultimate sign of capitalism. If you don't like something, don't support it financially. If you like something, buy the pay-per-views, buy the t-shirts, buy the hats. I don't know if this NWA is for me. I don't. I do know that I like Jordan Clearwater as my world television champion. I do like Scion representing the national championship. I do appreciate La Rebellion as the NWA World Tag Team Champions. Gosh damn, who's better than Kamille to carry the Burke? I don't know if I like Kerry Morton as my junior heavyweight champion. But I absolutely adore these girls as my women tag team champion. So the NWA is doing a lot of good. And look at what I just brought up. I'm talking about age. These two are in their 20s. Kerry Morton's 24. Or maybe not even their 20s. I think Kenzie Page might have just turned 20. I'm not sure how old Ella Envy is, but I'm going to guess under 24. Kerry Morton is just turned 24. Jordan Clearwater's probably like 26. I know Sion's a little bit older. La Rebellion isn't that old. There's a lot of young guys in the and gals. Forgive me, guys and gals in the NWA. There are a lot of young blood in the NWA, and that's something that we should be talking about. Forget the 10 pounds of gold for just a minute. Forget about the heavyweight division just for a minute. Let's talk about those open weight titles. Let's talk about the junior heavyweight title. Let's talk about how this roster is kind of blossoming with with some of this talent leaving. Look at a guy like Thrillbilly Cyrus. You're going to see him tonight in action as he takes on he takes on Scion in a non-title match. You go out there and watch him wrestle. You go out there and watch him bring it and tell me that he isn't part of the future of this NWA. Right? Last week we saw Jordan Clearwater and Mims. Those dudes, Mims has been around since day one. And him and Jordan Clearwater had a fantastic match that didn't end in a decision, ended in a time limit draw. Mims is part of that future. Jordan Clearwater is part of that future. You look at the NWA, and everyone's so quick to point out the dinosaur in the center of the ring with the 10 pounds of gold, the Bronchosaurus, the Funkasaurus, whatever you want to call him, Tyrus Smash. Look, the dude loves wrestling. He's passionate about it. And, he's already putting people over. And you go listen to him talk about the NWA. He put over like 6 guys. And guys, not just in his stable, but guys from all over, right? All over the brand. Tom Latimer. Of course, Jordan Clearwater, Scion, Mims, the Thrillbilly. There's guys getting put over right now. And I just think that this is it, man. Oh, Heaps points out Found out Mims is 30 the other day. Still fairly young, though, for the sport of pro wrestling. Still fairly young. I'd still say that's still young. But again, it's this NWA, you know, people are coming out of the woodwork to talk about how bad it is, and half these people don't even watch the product. Now, there are room for complaints. There are room for you to tell me that this show sucks. There's lots of things I don't like about this show. There's lots of things that you don't like about this show. But if you're watching the product and saying that, then hats off to you, man. You know what you're talking about. What I absolutely despise is you've got people out here who don't watch the product, who don't know the NWA, who didn't follow it before, who aren't following it now, and telling me how bad that Tyrus is as world champion. Do you know why I don't drop hot takes on pro football? Because I don't watch pro football. Soccer, golf, tennis, these things do not interest me. You want to talk about MCU? Sure, but I'm not an expert. You want to talk about pro wrestling? At least I watch the product. If you're not happy with the NWA, man, that's fine. If you've been watching it for this season, last season, or you watched it when the pandemic started, or you're just now getting into it, that's all good, man. But I'm not going to listen to detractors of this brand who don't even watch the product. And you shouldn't either. This is very much a capitalistic decision. If you like what you see, or if you enjoy what you're watching, keep paying for it. Keep watching. But if you're not into what you're seeing, if this is not tickling your fancy, then stop paying for it. Vote with your dollars. There's a lot of other products out there that would love to have your attention, your eyeballs, and your money. I can think of a few right off the top of my head. Mission Pro Wrestling, an all-women's wrestling organization in Texas. They would love to have your eyeballs. They would love to have your support. MLW. MLW is trying to compete with the big boys, but aren't there. But gosh, if you guys like pro wrestling, go check them out. One of my personal favorites, the United Wrestling Network, either Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Well, it's technically just Championship Wrestling at this point because it airs more than just in Hollywood. And also Championship Wrestling Memphis, or I think it's just Memphis Championship Wrestling now. I'm not sure what they're going by, but those products would love your attention, would love your eyeballs, would love for you to buy their merch. I guess what I'm saying is it's now time to either make that decision that you either want to be an NWA wrestling fan or you don't. And if you change your mind, that's cool too. There's always coming back. There's no, until the day that Billy Corgan puts this promotion in his closet and says, I'm done with wrestling, there's always opportunity. If you want to take a break, you could take a break. There's no shame in that. You guys don't need my permission to stop watching the NWA. Thanks for joining the stream. This has been a presentation of Alliance-Wrestling.com. We genuinely appreciate your support. Would you consider subscribing so you'll never miss a future episode? I'd also like to remind you we do a live stream every Tuesday at 5 p.m. before NWA Power. You can find us on social media at The Alliance Blog. And until next time, we are The Alliance.